I had, just met him in passing as like one of his brother's friends or whatever, who his brother worked with. And then it turned into one day, because Fab and Kane Fab had this, he had a couple cribs. One of the cribs with the studio in it was like a little mini mansion. It had like 5 bedrooms. One of the big bedrooms downstairs converted into a studio.
Yeah.
So it was just him and Kane that stayed there. And so Kane be down there knocking his mixtapes and whatever, and knocking whatever I got. I had sent the song that I wanted Kane on.
Yeah.
Fab overheard the shit and he's like, yo, this shit is crazy. He said, I keep hearing these different shits. He said, who made that? He said, that's Marley.
Yeah.
He said, play something else. He like, who made that beat? He said, Marley made the beat and that's him rapping. He said, damn, word, boom. He left. Came back, a couple days later. Had this other record that I wanted Kane on. It was called Dear Me. It was over one of the J Electronica instrumentals.
Yeah.
And I was rapping my ass off, man. I was talking very.
A lot of people don't got serious bars.
Yeah. Well, I had. I'm probably trash. I'm probably trash now, but
shit.
I still write a little bit for people, but not.
The shit these niggas put out today, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. That's true. So I had this song, and Kane was, working on his verse for it. Kane had his verse. Kane put his verse on it. So when Kane put a verse on something, or he listening to a song, he'll listen to this shit 100 times, because he wants to know everybody's verse.
Yeah.
He know my verse word for word before I know it.
Yeah.
I'm notorious for forgetting my lyrics. So he playing this shit. Fab come in, he like, man, what is this? He said, bro. So Fab get in there, he put down his book bag, he closed the door, and he just rocking. He like, oh, I got a verse for that. So then I get the call that Fab is about to jump on my song.
I bet you like, what the?
I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. So then after that, I'm all the way on Fab radar. He like, man, this dude in Ohio is dope, man. Like, he gotta come out here more or something. So I came out there again for the first soul tape that Fab did. And it was at the tail end of it. Yeah, classic. It was at the tail end of it. So I didn't get on there, but I was playing these joints. And I got like footage of me and him in the studio, and Kane was back there asleep. Sleep in the desk chair, like big sleep, snoring and all of that. Shout to Kane. And Kane Fab was like, these beats is joint, I'm gonna keep them for the next one or whatever. These beats is cool. So boom. So Kane had told me, rewinding back in Chicago when I met Kane and we vibed out that night. He missed his flight the next day back then because we was vibing so tough. And Kane told me, he said, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. He said, but I'm gonna get you where you need to be, man. You just too good. He said, just trust me.
Shit.
And then fast forward to that point, I remember going through my little drama, and after I called Kane, and me and Omar had already made trips out there, Fab had DM'd me on Twitter, and he was like, look, bro, this is my number. I heard that you was gonna come out. Kane must have told him like, yo, I think Mar gonna end up moving out here. And Fab DM'd me like, look, bro, this is my number, whatever you need, just call me or whatever. I heard you're going to be out here. And I went to Chicago for a couple weeks with my man Jamal Afridi, just to like decompress, make some music, see some new scenery. Because I was fucked up. I was in a dark place. You know what I'm saying? And that was when I realized that I had hit myself.
You was a happy nigga, so
yeah. I'm a real positive dude. And I've never been that low before. And I kind of went through that little bout of depression. And so when I went to Chicago, man, it was summer, man. It was like we was eating at different places every day. I was catching a vibe. I was in Logan Square, my man's apartment, making beats. And then after that, that's when I went out to New York, and I ain't looked back. But that's when I felt that ceiling. My lowest point is when I felt the ceiling, because I felt like there wasn't anything I can do in Toledo to dig myself out of that funk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, put out an album, but then what? Where does it go? You know what I mean? Locally, I got people that probably love it and tell me that it's cool.
That's one thing I can never say I seen you do. I don't, that I think a lot of artists here get caught up in is the local stuff.
Yeah.
Because now it's really hard because it's still, and you did it when the internet wasn't big like it is now.
Big, yeah.
It was cool, but it wasn't big. But you never got caught up in it. Well, they don't support me, or they
right? Because my thing was, I never had the local mentality. Like Charlie Mack could tell you, they played our records because I brought
Charlie Mack, man. I'm waiting to get him on. Him and Jim.
Oh yeah, you need him and Jim, and it's gonna happen. We gonna make that happen. But Charlie will tell you, anytime Marley come to me, because I was the guy that was like doing all our administrative stuff too. Yeah. So I would come with a disc, and the records would be on there. We have radio record, it had dirty, it had instrumental, and also all of those records were BDS. They was already in the BDS, which is broadcast data systems. Yeah. So that when you play it, it counts.
You're dropping jewels right now.
Right. So that's why the Juice was spinning the record, because it was counting. We was racking up spins. Yeah. That's why we would get calls from. We still would get calls from like somebody at Universal and stuff like that, because they're like, oh man, you guys, there's something going on. And when they print it out, they're like, there's some guys in the Midwest that's getting 50 spins a week, 20 here, 50 here. 20 here, 15 here, and so they're seeing that, and they're like, yo, this is, that's how they used to find talent. You know what I'm saying? So I always was that guy who was business minded. I was never really fixated on anything local. I just knew local was a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we would do shows in Cleveland and then Columbus, and then go to Detroit, and then go to PA and do shows.
And it was, so you get to Fab.
Mm-hmm.
And was it the Soul 2 mixtape?
Yeah, the Soul Tape 2.
Soul Tape 2. And which joints you produced on that?
Guess Who's Bizak. And
nice.
I did Guess Who's Bizak and Diamonds, where I flipped the Rihanna Diamond song.
See, I didn't know you did that one.
Yeah.
I know you did the other one. I never knew you did that.
I did that. Look, man, it was, what's so crazy? Just to drop this jewel. When you're uncomfortable, that's when you're moving in the right direction. Like, comfortability breeds complacency. So if you want to go to the next level, you can't be comfortable. And I realized that because as soon as I went to New York, on only a little bit of money, you know what I mean, just a couple people on some couches, going to Harlem to Doug Fresh spot, because I met his sons through Kane, and I was over there making joints for them. I just hit the ground running. I was making beats for them. I had made a joint with Jadakiss, Fab, and Lloyd Banks. Soon as I left, everything started happening, bro. And this is before the Soul Tape. So Fab had a tape called There's No Competition.
Yes, one of my favorites.
And right before I left, one of the times I came back, Kane and Fab were in Russia, and Kane called me. He like, bro, get ready, man. This joint about to make There's No Competition. I did this joint called Death in the Family. They ain't shooting a video for it. I personally hated the beat, and I had redid it and made it better, and Fab still used the old one.
Yeah.
So, but that was crazy. So that put me on the map. And then I was able to do the Jadakiss record.
Yeah.
That put me on the map again. So then in New York, I'm in these circles, and I'm starting to get respected in these circles. So then it turned into me being out there, and Fab like, I need this nigga around every day. So Fab hit me like, man, I came there one day. I came up there because I used to go up to the studio house maybe two times a week, and he was like, yo, and Lexi used to take me up to the studio. Shout out to Lexi, man, she was crazy. But I used to go up there 2 days a week, and just make beats, do whatever. And one time, he was like, yo, he asked me, could I help him with something? And it turned into, yo, it's a room up there. Just move your stuff into the room. Oh, so wow. It turned into, in this house, it's just me, Paul Kane, and Fab living in the house. So I went from, being at my lowest point in Toledo, into in 4 months later, I'm living with Fabolous. Yeah. One of my, top 7 rappers. And then it turns into all right, I gotta grind because this is our shot. Then it came into, you know, I remember Chief came out there, Logic came out there. We used to have these barbecues. We had the Ciroc pool in the back, and that's how we used to like everybody used to come through because that part of Jersey, everybody lived there. Lloyd Banks stayed down the street. Jewel stayed around the corner. Jewel's used to pull up. I used to go to Jewel's studio even before that with me and Chief old manager. He from New York, so I used to go over there and drop off beats with Skull Gang and all of that.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But that kind of, when I got to that in that space, that's when I started getting that respect, right? And then we did Soul Tape 2, and that really did it. I was in Miami. They was playing records in the club, and you know, that's when it was just like, I'm like, oh, okay, everything's about to change.
What is outside of Fab?
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite industry person to work with?
Oh, like that I've worked with already?
Yes.
Oh,
or
man.
Who you want to work with?
Or who I want to work with?
Yeah.
Man, what? I mean, you know, you gotta get I got a bucket list, and I tackle.
I know one is Jeff.
Hove. Easy. But
hopefully he sees this
on my bucket list, I had people like Raekwon. I was able to do a record with Raekwon. Raekwon, a real guy.
Shut the fuck up.
He took me. Look, man, I remember being at the crib, at the Stu crib, and Fab was out of town, like doing some shows or something. A lot of times when they used to do the party shit, I used to stay back.
And now that it seemed like you was just like Fab gravitated towards you because you wasn't one of the niggas that's like around, just want to party and like you just like you gotta work, like you just always thinking business, like just like that's why he gravitated.
I felt like I ain't deserve to be out there yet. Like I don't deserve to be standing on couches and popping bottles, nigga. Shit, I'm coming off one of the biggest losses of my life.
Yeah.
Biggest financial, terrible years financially in my life. I said, nigga, I gotta sit here and figure out something. He getting beats from Timberland and Pharrell and shit. I gotta figure out how to make this shit like get more consistent and get better. So I was in there locked down, just doing shit, and you know, I started getting some good records off, like I said about the Jada Kiss record. Started getting a little respect. We had this studio house, and one of the guys on my bucket list, you know, we was talking about was Raekwon. Raekwon pulled up one day and just came and checked some beats. Fab was out of town doing the show. I stayed back, grinding. Raekwon pulled up on me, and it was like, wow, it was crazy. Jewels for days. And now Raekwon's studio is down the hall from our shit. So when Ray was working on his album, I was able to, I got my bucket list, I was able to produce a record for Raekwon.
Did you get like Raekwon, like Wu-Tang, man, people be like, man, you listen, because all the stuff I listen to,
yeah,
I'm a Wu-Tang head, like I would have been like, this is Raekwon, like like if I ever met Method Man, like I'm like,
come on,
these
man.
are idols,
and all of their audios,
like the whole crew,
the beauty
Bobby
about
Digital album,
the beauty about being in Toledo is that we're a melting pot of
artists.
Music. So I remember my uncle and my cousin Eric and shit, he used to have a beat in the Caprice. We used to listen to everything from Dude Mac Mall to remember him?
Shout out to the Bay.
Man, yeah.
You know he in jail?
Word?
I think he killed Mac Mall, killed the motherfucker, the nigga that killed. Don't get me mistaken, him and the pimp dude, for sure I gotta go back and look, but the dude is this dude named Fat Tony. They said killed Mac Dre, and I think Mac Mall killed him. I ain't for sure. I think it was Mac Mall or somebody else. Mac Minister, I think that was the pimp dude. One of the other few, I don't know, something with the bag.
Mac Mall had the alligator. He had the pet alligator on the cover.
Yeah,
I remember that. So we used to get that. We get all type of music. Even back to when we was in the clubs and shit. All the Houston niggas music was coming through here. Magno, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, and we got music.
We was chopped and screwed.
Yeah, we was chopped and screwed for a minute. Then we
Dipset.
Yeah, the Dipset took over.
Was like
so
we
in the middle of the map. So we literally absorb everything. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, that play a part also into. And
I can't leave out Master P.
Oh yeah, come on.
Your
man.
uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle, Scarface.
Well,
he's lesbian classes in the Scarface. I love that dude.
Scarface is OD. So I almost got a record with Scarface too. Me and him was going back and forth on Twitter. And this was years ago, and I had sent him a pack, but I don't think I don't think he did an album around that time. He ended up doing an album later, and I hadn't sent him nothing new.
Where you rank Brad? And
Brad Jordan ranks. He definitely in my top 10. Period.
Gotta be top 10.
He gotta be top 10. You can't. I don't see how you can not have Scarface in your top 10.
Like I be hearing people talk like, y'all don't got Brad Jordan,
Yeah.
Mr. Scarface.
I mean, some people who younger than us. Okay, cool. Because you know the reason why these guys are our favorites because they resonate with us. You can hear a song and remember where you was at and what you was eating when you heard it.
No more with this music.
Right. Now, these guys growing up in this era, they're having that same nostalgia, but for different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Chief Keef grew up to Beanie Siegel. His mama listened to Beanie Siegel and all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his era guys would be like a Beanie Siegel and all of that, like for him. But us, you know, we got a good. We were able to.
But we even, you know, I'm gonna interject a little bit. Play devil advocate. We went back and studied a lot of shit. I went back and studied Dale. I went back and studied DMC. I went back and studied Houdini, all them type of artists. So I don't think kids go back and study enough.
Nah,
because I set a young nigga down and I made him listen to Never Seen a Man Cry.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll call me like, big dog, like, that shit deep.
That shit did.
That shit was deep. Then I let him watch the video, it was even deeper. I was like, yeah.
The Smile joint with him and Pac, even his recent stuff, My Block, and he had the Chief, how you say that shit? Mertress? It means like your grand closing. It was called a Mertrius or something like that. It was a Scarface album. And that album was crazy. He had like High Note on there. He had some like records on there.
Yeah.
Like, man, Scarface is out of control.
Out of fucking control.
So he would be on my bucket list too. I got Raekwon out the way. I got Jadakiss out the way, and now Jadakiss.
How is Jada like?
Jada is my big fucking brother, man, and he is one of the funniest niggas I ever met in my life, man. I could sit and talk. You could sit and talk sports with this nigga for hours and everything. You get jewels from him. He tell me shit about, you know, different shit back in the day. Him and Big and I mean, I just got to meet a lot of people. But the thing is I got my respect for my work ethic and what I put in there, like what I put into the game and like what I just like what I put into my craft.
Yeah.
And I seen it. You can catch that in. It goes a long way. Yeah. So every step of the game, from Soul Tape 2 to Soul Tape 3, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a shot at executive producing. And Fab was like, yo, executive produce this tape. Cool, I got a chance to do that. All I didn't do no beats on there. All I did was go in on certain records and arrange them and try to make them better.
You were basically what Diddy did.
Yeah, I was pulling a Diddy, you know what I mean, without the dancing. You know what I'm saying? So I did that, and then you know all the way up to the Young OG project. That's when we get into Marley done produced the single.
The Lituation.
Yeah, Lituation.
The Lituation. We was naming parties after shit. We was naming parties and nights. Yeah, but that was all over America. I seen it like.
It's a Lituation.
That's when it was just like, no lie. Like, I keep this myself. Because I tell Bunny this all the time.
Yeah. Shout out to Bunny.
Shout out to Bunny, man. April 27th, man. I can't wait. But.
Bunny, we supposed to go eat dinner later on. And I'm going to make sure it's on Bunny. You know, Bunny up right now.
Let me tell you about Bunny, man. Let me tell you about Bunny. He has so much money, but he's smart with it.
Oh, he's
But one day, man, he surprised me. We all out to eat, man. He buy the whole dinner, the whole restaurant, big meals. I said, man, he's a good dude. I don't know what people don't get out of not liking him. Yeah. I think it's come from.
Oh, I got a whole theory on that, man. Like, it's different places that's like Toledo, where it's smaller. Even bigger cities or whatever. But the thing is people root for you while you're the underdog. Yeah. But when you start winning too much, then it's like people start resenting you for winning.
And that's weird.
And it's the craziest thing
It's
ever.
like as soon as he got the belt, it was like, Easter's trash.
Yeah, he trash and all that. And I talked to Bunny about this stuff because I feel like I'm aware of it, for everybody who was like, yeah, rooting for Marley. Because people really know, like, I'm a good dude to a fault even. Like, I used to be way too accessible and try to help way too many people. Anybody can just email, and I'm not. Even to this day, like, I just catch emails randomly and just listen to everything in it, and it's a waste of time sometimes because, you know, now at this point in my life, I got to be very particular on my time because time is worth more than money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have certain things that I need to allocate my time for, and sometimes I get caught up in people reaching out to me and me reaching back. Yeah. And it ain't got nothing to do because I'm feeling guilty, like I got to be a real nigga or whatever. But I genuinely be like, trying to help people any way that I can. It's like this. My conscience is heavy. I have a heavy conscience. So if me and you was talking and you tell me, yo, Ma, I'm gonna just use the simplest situation. Yo, Ma, man, I got X, Y, and Z to do. I need $100, man. If I had $100, I'd be able to. I had the last bit of the money I need to go handle this, you know, for whoever, my son, right? And I'm sitting here with $5,000 in my pocket, and I just let you rock. Like, damn, that's crazy, man. But you know, you'll get it. You'll get the 100. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You'll get it. You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you're doing. I can't. It's hard for me to be that way. You know, mind you, I'm not just passing out money to people, but I'm using that as an example of. You know, if I can't, my conscience won't let me sit here across from you knowing that I can just solve the problem for you, solve one of your problems by giving you money I would have ate food with later. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I have that type of conviction sometimes, and all the times it's not warranted because, you know, I'm told all the time, like, you don't have to do that for everybody, or you don't have to feel obligated to do certain things. But I don't know where that conviction comes from. I don't know where it is, but it's just part of who I am, and it's a flaw of mine, and I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. They hate. But going back to the original point, people will hate you, even a guy like me or a guy like E-Bunny, who's hilarious, who got a great personality.
Ain't never stole or did nothing to
nobody. Ain't never did nothing to nobody. Who stays here.
And don't have to stay here.
Don't
That's
have to stay here. And leads by example and reaches out and touches the people. Yeah. He don't turn nobody away. I see how he is, man. His personality is incredible, and you got people that can hate that man. And wish ill will on him.
And that's sick.
It's sick. But they just come from the crab in the barrel mentality. It come from years of systemic oppression of black people, feeling like it's only so much money to go around, and if I got it, you can't have it.
That's crazy.
It's the craziest thing ever. But as long as people keep getting raised like that, I mean, it's up to us.
It's like we built to destroy each other.
We built to destroy each other. So it's up to us to instill in our kids. Your son is your son come up different than you.
Yeah.
Our kids is soft.
They probably never even see some of the shit.
Our kids are soft as cotton, man.
Period.
These they got internet, iPads, PS4s. You know, they get whatever they want, and they're not going out getting shot at. They're not having to do none of that.
House parties. They don't have to see.
They don't have to see none of that.
Gang banging barely even exists.
Like it was certain things in our, we
couldn't wear a certain color, or we had.
Man, I live in a town, man, with 30,000 people in it, and it's the most benign family town ever, bro. Like, I can walk around the corner, and it's this old lady who has the neighborhood ice cream shop. We get ice cream from her in the summer. You know what I mean? It's like it's so suburban, and so like my kids don't know nothing about.
My son hit me like, Dad, can I walk to the store?
No. No.
I will take you
I'll
to
take
the
you
store.
To the store. Yeah, we was off the porch
at like 8, 7 years old.
Doing shit. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on the South End, and I grew up on the Old West End, man. You know what I mean? Shit was real. I grew up on Skywood.
I remember riding my bike home from football practice. I I had an all red thing on. I ain't know what X Block was, but I found out that day I'm going.
Oh yeah, you was on X Block with all red on.
But I'm coming from practice and my pants, like this ain't got nothing to do.
That's
I
a
can't help
uniform.
it.
Yeah, you can't help
The name of the team was so Craig was me and I played on the same team.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
he went home with the red pants on.
Yeah.
But then at that age, we didn't know that he was tight and heavy. But
right.
back to the little I can't say it.
Lituation.
Yes, that.
Man.
How did it feel? Because I was, like I told you, when it came out, it was like a hard film because I'm in my Twitter to see it trending.
Right. And so you saying at that point, it came full circle from you from the lunchroom table.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, yeah.
The name of this interview should be The Lunchroom Table.
The lunchroom table.
That's because that's where we started.
Because we started at the lunchroom table, and now I'm like,
we in big boy office.
But then what's so crazy is people were like, man, you don't call him, you don't know. Because I feel like we always had that friendship and that connection. Like that's my brother,
right?
And he knows, like,
period.
I don't have to be there. We can go for how long speaking, and boom, right back to where we was at.
Right back where it's at.
Like,
you got just certain people in your life. It's only a couple people that you had like that, man. And we really, I always was like, yo, Gary, I don't even know if you remember this. Even all of the little weird shit we was doing when we was younger, it used to be kids who used to sit at a table and they weren't cool. And we used to go over there and sit with them.
Sit with them.
And me and you used to go over there and sit with them. And then next thing you know, everybody just started sitting with them and they was sitting with us. And that's when I was like, yeah, this is a good dude. Because everybody, you know, you got the uncool kids or whatever, the outcast kids. And one of them actually, I think the kid's name was Jamar. He ended up being funny as hell.
Man, I had him on Facebook.
Where he ended up being fun, like he was quiet and people ain't really talk to him. He stayed to himself.
He liked the whole fucking class.
Yeah, he liked everybody. Like he was the funniest kid ever. So I'm like, yo, I learned that at an early age, man. Like, you know, you can't judge people like that, and you never know somebody's situation. And I just remember us.
Even with Steven with the boots.
Yeah, Steven with the boots. He was weird as hell.
He killed somebody.
He killed somebody
like a couple years ago.
we seen it though, because he used to come in there
the
with army
baby
fatigues.
in the freezer a couple years ago. That was him.
Nah.
Yes, Steven with the boots on everything to do. Freaked out, but come from people fucking with him. And we always we went over there and included them and stuff in conversation, and everybody started sitting over there at that table. So from that point, I'm like, yeah, this dude is a leader and he a good dude because he ain't. You know what I mean? We made people. You see what I'm saying? We made everybody go. Until this day, I can go somewhere and people remember me from that school, and it's the people that y'all. This dude we used to call Hamburger Dude. The Hamburger Dude. All I call Hamburger Dude is dude off of Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
To this day, I see him, and it's just like, damn, crazy. They be like, man, how do you know that person? Like some people like, ugh, but I'm like. It's a good dude.
It's
like,
a good dude. Like
you just never know.
Don't
like
judge that book by its cover, man.
That's an interview. Pop said he was in jail and he said shit. The skinheads was coming and I was signing autographs for their kids and sending them home. He's like, just because what you believe in, that's not bothering me. As long as you don't bother me, you can believe what you believe in. Hey, I don't have no problem. I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I heard that at an early age, and that's where I always been like. So I go sit over there with the musty kids or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know.
And then where I'm at now in life is I'm on this thing. It's this thing about pride and ego. Because we was talking about a lot of that hate and all of that. Yeah. Pride and ego never make us any money. Ever. But we got a lot of it because where you from? Oh, that nigga stole your bike. Go back and get it. Oh, that nigga did da-da-da-da. Go fight him. And if you don't fight him, I'm going to fight you. Like we come from a very in our community, and you know this. You know you gotta survive. Sometime it was dog eat dog. So you get all of this pride and this ego built up, and a lot of things happen from that pride and ego. But when you think about it, that shit don't make nobody no money. No. That's why in corporate America or these white guys, the board, it could be a CEO and the board vote him away. Yeah, you don't have your job no more, but we gonna give you a severance package. You turn around. Hey man, what do you still want to golf next weekend? Yeah, sure. We're still on for it because they understand the business aspect of it and pride and ego. Our loyalty and our pride and all of that stuff, it can be a negative thing towards us if we not careful. We wear that pride and that ego on our shoulder. That's
And
why
so-
niggas is in jail right now. Pride and ego. You feel what I'm saying?
Together, niggas always want to turn on.
Yeah,
it's just like the club business.
Oh man.
I don't think these brothers know that my era when I started was all Arabics.
Yep.
Or white guys.
Yep.
And now we got about 4 or 5 black owners.
Guys is buying their own clubs and their own bars.
And
I
now
love
y'all don't get along for real.
it.
Like
That's crazy.
I helped open the new Brooks last night.
Mhm.
See one owner come and congratulate that man. What y'all doing is so amazing, but we so stupid. Like for example, the people that own bunkers or like the Signal, all of them, they're not our race, but they do a thing called bar hop or pub hop, some shit where they make it a bus.
They cross honor.
They
each
cross
other.
honors. You will never see that in us because we
still got that mentality feeling like, oh shit, if they go to your bar, they not coming to my bar.
Yeah,
It's like, nigga, you know how many people is in this motherfucker?
Exactly.
If your shit pack out, his shit can pack out too.
Exactly.
Like, it's enough people to go around. There's people from different sides of town that may not want to drive here or whatever their preferences, but the bottom line is it's enough consumers
Exactly.
to do business with everybody.
And I tell people this.
That's like saying, oh, because Fricker's open, Hooters can't be open.
Walmart ain't never hated on Myers.
Yeah. Myers doing their numbers. Walmart doing they right there out there what Central or whatever.
Central. Same right across the street.
It's a
This shit is crazy.
yeah, it's Myers right here. It's a Kroger right here, and you can go and it's a Walmart in close vicinity too.
And we ain't gonna count that Carl out here,
yeah.
Riley's here, McDonald's here. Come on, this shit is crazy.
Why gotta be one bar or one club?
And everybody wanna argue.
It ain't nothing to argue about, man.
Get money, like that's
Get
just,
money. The pride and ego stops so many people's potential and earning potential, man, is sickening. And I learned that as I got into bigger circles of people with money and started realizing like, oh shit, the money that I seen in my life doing what I was doing is not shit.
No, hold that. I'm gonna come back to that. Remember that, because you're a mogul too.